KOCO 5 Sports with Brian Keating.
Coming up next on The Big Show. March Madness did not disappoint. Unless you're from Oklahoma.
As they pull the upset against the 5-seeded Oklahoma Sooners.
The Sooners bow out early while Travis Ford sits squarely on the hot seat.
And everybody learned some valuable lessons.
Westbrook hobbling away.
And the state of Oklahoma can officially exhale. Russell Westbrook's okay, folks.
It just looks weird, but it's not as bad as you think.
Plus, why Kevin Durant has locked up the MVP.
Track for three, he's got it! He's got it!
It is next, right here on The Big Show. All right, welcome into The Big Show tonight. I'm Brian Keating alongside Abigail Ogle. What a week.
Oh my gosh.
Well, crazy, right?
A jam-packed show, too.
The NCAA tournament. Losses by the Sooners and Cowboys may be a bit surprising. Plus the future of OSU head coach Travis Ford. We will debate that on his job status. Plus, hey, Brandon Whedon has a new home. That happened this week. We'll talk about him. But, hey, we got to start the night at Thunder practice today. And Russell Westbrook, he looked just fine. That's good news. Dodged a big bullet over the weekend because Friday night his injury looked a lot worse, and he's out there today. He looks great.
Yeah, the Thunder calling this a knee sprain, and we spoke to the Thunder yesterday. They said an MRI showed no further issues with that knee. Of course, they said they will continue to monitor it and monitor his minutes. That has always been the plan, so definitely good news for Thunder Nation.
The video looks better than what you think. As looking at the video, it just looks weird, but it's not as bad as you think. So I wasn't, really worried about it. It was just a light sprain, and I'll be all right.
I was just like, oh God. Then, we all said a prayer. I think all of us said it in our head, collectively, and the whole state of Oklahoma. And, prayers was answered. He was okay. He's covered.
When Russell went down, obviously that was a concern. He's a guy that loves to play. He's passionate. He plays with a fierce intensity that we like and we need.
Little exhale. The Thunder feeling pretty good about themselves today.
Sigh of relief.
Yeah, it was the best possible news because it was scary on Friday night. Let's get to the game here at this point. And let me ask you this: on a scale of 1 to 10, I said exhale because how nervous were you when Russell was injured?
Honestly, Brian, I was at an 11 on a scale from 1 to 10.
Sure.
Really, it looked bad. It looked awkward.
Yeah.
It's still hard for me to watch. But more than anything, his reaction was just so similar to the very first incident against Houston with Patrick Beverley, where he banged the scores table, he banged the basketball Friday night there in Toronto. A lot of people just kind of had a flashback to that first injury. So I was at an 11.
I'm going to one-up you with the 11 because I went to 12. And I'm sitting there watching the game, and Russell goes, and really the game didn't matter at that point. You're just wondering about Russell because they can't win the championship without him. So 12 out of 10. But he's
Absolutely.
okay. We exhale. We shift our attention, I guess, to Kevin Durant. He had 51 on Friday night, hit the game winner against Toronto. So scale of 1 to 10, how certain are you that he's locked up the MVP now?
Scale to 1 to 10, I am at a 9. Still some basketball left to be played, but Brian, I'm as certain as you can be without being 100% positive. He's been the definition of an MVP, especially now that LeBron, he's playing below his career average this season. I'm at a 9. That game-winning three-pointer,
You're at a 9.
double
You're at a 9.
overtime.
I'm at a 10. I am 100% certain he will be the MVP. I mean, you're
wins
talking
it.
about this thing, 34 games in a row at 25 or more. And you're right, Miami, they've kind of fallen on hard
They
times
have.
a little bit. They're 4-7 in their last 11 games. Kevin Durant, meanwhile, averaging 35 points in March. So he's going to win the MVP. I'm 100% certain. Magic Johnson, as a matter of fact, he's certain too. He's convinced, tweeted this over the weekend. Kevin Durant's game-winning three-point shot proved to us that he is the MVP.
Yeah, Magic Johnson
Good
would
enough
know.
for me.
Hall of Famer Magic Johnson says you're the MVP.
You're the MVP.
You're the MVP.
Look forward the Thunder schedule, what's coming up this week. And it all starts tomorrow night with the Denver Nuggets. And Russell Westbrook, I don't know if he's going to play tomorrow. He's still going to sit out on one side of the back-to-back. They have a back-to-back Monday and Tuesday. So I don't know. I would expect he wouldn't play tomorrow, and then he would play against Dallas. Give him an extra day, but he's just fine. Dodged a bullet.
Yeah, then they have that 3-game homestand ending with the NBA's best team currently, the San Antonio Spurs. But like you said, when we spoke to the Thunder, they did say that their plan to watch him, especially in those back-to-backs, is still in place, not because of Friday night, just the original
Normal
plan.
Russell Westbrook stuff.
Right.
That's good news, no doubt about that. All right, coming up next, NCAA tournament letdown.
Ooh.
Boy, Sooners ousted, Cowboys fall flat, and the future for Travis Ford. We'll debate it. Welcome back to the show tonight. Hey, tough couple of days in the NCAA tournament for teams around here. The Sooners lose to North Dakota State. They were winless in the Big 12 tournament as well, so winless in the NCAA tournament. Let me ask you this. True or false, their postseason failures, I guess, make this season a disappointment?
I'm definitely going to go false on this one. The Sooners were picked 7th in Big 12 preseason polls. They finished 2nd in conference. Their season should be considered a success.
It is a success. The answer is false. They had a good year that just didn't end the way they wanted it to end. And
but it can still be a successful
It can still be successful. I would agree with that. But, you know, Lon Kruger hasn't won a postseason game at Oklahoma. He's 0-5, 0-3 in the Big 12 tournament, 0-2 in the Big Dance. So true or false? That concern you at all?
Absolutely not. I'm going false again. We're talking about the AP Big 12 Coach of the Year. The Baylor draw in the Big 12 tourney, that wasn't exactly fair. Plus, they beat him twice. Lon, he's done great things for the program. Sooner fans should not be concerned at all.
Concerned a little bit. And I'm going to go true here because at some point you got to win. And he had a team that was 2nd seed in the Big 12 tournament, they lose.
To
they're
Baylor.
They're a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament, they lose. It's a little bit concerning. He's been to 1 Sweet 16 since 1994. Not great, but it's okay. Here's the Sooners.
I mean, obviously disappointed that we haven't won in the conference tournament or here. This group's done a heck of a job. They've made a lot of progress. We've got to keep getting better.
Most games we hit threes. You know, we do. You know, we hit threes, and we've won doing that this year. I don't know why we would change it now. You know, if we're not hitting, we need to realize we need to get to the rim, get some fouls. But you know, we've been doing it all the year, so why would we change now?
I just said a little concerned, not
a
really
lot of
concerned,
concern.
not real concerned, just a little bit.
They did. I mean, everyone's season is going to end in disappointment except for one team.
You're right
when
about
you look
that.
At it that way.
Won a few games here and there. Hey, OSU beaten by Gonzaga, so they end their tumultuous season at Stillwater. A lot of questions about Travis Ford and his job moving forward. I'll ask you straight up here. Travis Ford, he should remain the head coach at OSU, true or false?
I'm going to preface this with saying I like Coach Ford. He's been great to us. But this is false. I mean, 2, maybe 3 of the best players in the conference, and they finished 8th in the Big 12. And then obviously discipline has been an ongoing issue this past season, and unfortunately that falls back to the coach.
Yeah, I mean, the answer is false. We're going to find out how much OSU wants to win at basketball, and I think if they make the decision that winning at basketball is important, they have no choice but to move on. He squandered, the Marcus Smart era squandered. They won no NCAA tournament games. They were 8th, and they were picked to win the league. They have to have a new head coach if they want to win. I have to say that. They just do.
We don't like saying
we're
that.
We're going to find out
but
how serious they are at winning at basketball here in the next couple of days.
Right.
They just are. All right, we will hand out 1 grade tonight, sort of a continuation of this thing. Cowboys season over. What grade do you give them for the season?
For the entire season, Brian, they get a D. They had a few good wins. They made it to the NCAA tournament, which no one was giving them a shot to do, including the person standing next to me.
I mean, they looked like they were dead to rights.
They did, but they made a comeback. They won a couple good games. I'm giving them a D. It wasn't a complete, total failure, but unfortunately, it was pretty close.
It was a complete and utter failure. I mean, you're picked to win the league. You think you got a chance to go to the Final Four. It's an F. 2 straight NCAA tournament games. They haven't even been competitive. They were barely competitive against Gonzaga, let's be honest.
That's true. They lost to them 6 times in program
Finished
history.
8th out of 9 teams. It's an F. Expectations,
I'm nicer than you are.
Complete fail. Here's OSU.
It was amazing how everybody in that room stuck together, really stuck together. More than people know. That means a lot to me as a coach. Sure, we'd love for a lot of things to went different ways. But hey, it's all going to make everybody stronger, hopefully. And everybody learns some valuable lessons.
Big days ahead at OSU. There is no doubt about that.
Valuable lessons.
Coming up next, Pick 5. More Sooners and Cowboys, plus Kevin Durant ending the night in Toronto. Stay with us. Welcome back tonight, Brian Keating and Abigail Ogle. Time for Pick 5, a little What's the Word?
We need a little intro song.
We do need a song. We'll work on that.
For our favorite game here.
We will start with the brilliance of Kevin Durant.
we never count us out, man. No matter what, we play until that last buzzer sound. Fish hit a huge shot, and by the grace of God, man, I let that one fly, and I was able to hit it.
Oh, he was able to hit it. 51 points on Friday, the game winner. Your reaction to the game winner was blank.
Oh, and double OT.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was just amazed. Not shocked, not surprised. He's done this before. He's hit game-winning threes in overtime, but just amazed at his skill, composure, clutchness, his MVP likeness.
He is clutchness. I like that word. You just made that. That's good stuff. No, I mean, I'm sitting there watching the game, and I did what everyone else in Oklahoma City did. I said, oh! It was awesome. I mean, he's Kevin Durant. He's going to win the MVP.
And I love Serge.
That's what I did. I mean, you know, Kevin Durant. That was pretty sweet, right?
And Serge after. Great job.
Sooners lose in overtime to North Dakota State. They lose as a 5 seed and upset in the opening round.
It's upsetting to miss them 3 shots, but I mean, we were, you know, still pumped up to go into overtime. We gave ourselves a chance to win at the end, and it didn't happen, so we got more time to do that.
They lose in overtime, finished second in the Big 12, got a lot of young players. We fast forward to next season, pick 2. Sooners should be blank in the preseason poll.
Well, we just saw a nice play there from Cameron Clark, who will not be around next season. I'm going 4th. We got to leave Baylor up there. UT is very young. You can't count out Iowa State or Kansas. I'm going to put them at the top half of the conference. I'm going 4th.
I'm going 3rd, and I think, hey, they finished 2nd this year. I think they're going to be better next year. The one thing that they're probably not going to be better than Kansas, because nobody's been better than Kansas in 10 years. They've won the league 10 straight years. I think Baylor, you're seeing in the NCAA tournament how good they are. They're going to get better, and they're a pretty young team. So I think Baylor and Kansas will be picked ahead of Oklahoma, but I think OU will be 3rd and continue to improve their program. I think they're on a good course.
They are. If they improve their defense, man, they could be unstoppable.
They didn't play a lot of defense this year.
No, they
didn't. Just saying. All right, Marcus Smart. He's done at OSU, ends his 2-year career with the Cowboys. Came back for a sophomore season, didn't quite work out.
I never regretted coming back. You know, that was my decision, and it's what I really wanted. So, you know, I'm very happy with the decision I made. This team has made my decision to come back well worth my while.
He said that before the game last week, but tough sophomore season in a lot of ways, obviously. So Marcus Smart leaves a blank legacy at OSU.
Brian, Marcus Smart leaves a tarnished legacy at Oklahoma State, excuse me. He was Oklahoma State's golden boy, but this season gotten the reputation of being a flopper, of course, the shoving incident. But he still will be remembered, though, for his skill. And once he returned, they had that winning streak. It'll be a tarnished legacy.
See, I think tarnished is too strong for sure. I think it's unfulfilled. Never won an NCAA tournament game, came in with great expectations. He'll be one of the all-time greats ever at OSU, though, and he's going to get drafted in the top 10, top 5. Bryant Reeves was 6. That was a long time ago. So he's going to be drafted high like that, just unfulfilled.
He could be the highest drafted in
maybe
Oklahoma
ever.
State history.
You're right about that. Big 12, a lot of expectations in the NCAA tournament for them. They are 6-5 now. Only Iowa State and Baylor on to the Sweet 16. Kansas eliminated by Stanford today.
They played better, made more plays. Made the most of their inside touches, and really proud of my team. We tried hard. Hopefully when we're in this situation in the future, which I really think we will be, that we'll respond more favorably.
Yep, Baylor, Iowa State left. Pick 4, performance of the Big 12 has been blank.
The Big 12's performance in the NCAA tournament, I think, honestly, has been encouraging. It hasn't blown anybody away, but Baylor beating Creighton by 30, Iowa State going to the Sweet 16, Kansas and Texas, they also advanced. I think it's encouraging as you look at the Big 12 basketball landscape. It hasn't been fantastic, but I think encouraging.
I think it's been a little lackluster. OU, Kansas, upset as high seeds. I think anytime that happens a couple of times in one league that it's not good, it's supposed to be the best basketball conference. I don't know that's worked out that way, but a little lackluster, not terrible. Finally, Brandon Whedon, he's got a brand new team. He was cut by Cleveland, has now signed with the Dallas Cowboys.
I want to play football. I don't care. I just want to play football and be at a place where it's enjoyable and we can compete and win games. I want to be in the National Football League, and like I said, I just want to continue to keep playing.
Easy. Pick 5. Whedon's move to Dallas will be blank.
It'll be a happy one. It's no secret he wanted out of Cleveland. Yep. They'll be closer to home. His wife and he are expecting, so they'll be closer to Oklahoma and Edmond, where they're from. It'll be a happy move to Dallas.
Being a backup for Tony Romo won't be so bad. I think it'll be new life for him. You know, nobody wins in Cleveland. I don't care what quarterback you are. It's a disaster of an organization. Goes to Dallas, which a lot of people might not say is a lot better, but you know what? He's not going to be expected to do it all. All right, coming up next, who's winning the internet? We'll see if anybody can beat this guy. Welcome back. All right, who's winning the internet? See, this guy was pretty good. The Mercer, they beat Duke, right?
And so they upset.
So why wouldn't you do that?
He hits the nene. Obviously, he's been practicing it. Look at his teammates cheering him on.
The nene's the dance.
The nene is the dance.
I just learned that.
He's hitting the nene. Now, of course, we all thought this would be winning the internet.
Yeah.
But then we saw this Thunder photo when we thought,
Well, I mean, you know, hey, this happened after the Raptors game.
The double overtime 1-point win. KD posts this. The whole family is there. That's a great photo.
It's a family photo.
Look at all the different expressions. You see Nick Collison there.
What is Steven Adams doing? He had like a thing. I don't. He's a weird cat, but I like him.
He keeps it interesting.
See ya.